welcome back to another reaction.
Check in.
We gotta give a shout out here. I told them this is a shout out to Phoebe and Kayla.
Phoeberoni.
You better watch this.
Carla.
Better watch this.
Phoeberoni. Carla.
All right, let's end the video. Enough of them. You guys told us to react to this in a full thing. We posted part 1, and then now we're about to do.
Which I don't know if they even liked. Do they like part 1?
We're going to react to the rest of the video, The Most Beautiful Life Goes On, A Story of BTS. And we're going to give a reaction to the end of it. We're going to watch it all the way through. That's what you guys, that's what they said. Don't talk during the video. So we're going to pause every maybe 5-10 minutes if we want to. And yeah, the reason why we don't post full videos, like the full thing, is because YouTube does not allow us to upload over hour-long videos yet.
Oh, is that actually why?
Yeah, I was trying to tell them that. I've been trying to tell them, like, that's why.
I didn't know that was even a rule.
That's why we've been doing parts, so it's easier. But yeah, here we go. Hope you guys enjoy.
Check it.
And let us know.
저도 아침에 리허설 때 이거 보고 많이 웃었습니다.
They had the group, but they still needed the music. In early 2013, they set out to create some social media presence for themselves before officially debuting, posting song covers on both SoundCloud and YouTube, which you can still go watch today. In May, Big Hit launched a countdown clock on their website in preparation for BTS's debut album, complete with a trailer and a ton of promotional material, including photos for the first time of all the members in the official lineup. Finally, the big day came. June 12, 2013, BTS held a press conference and a debut showcase where they performed their 2 singles, No More Dream and We Are Bulletproof Part 2. The same day, the Too Cool for School album, as well as the music video for No More Dream, were released. The very next day, BTS performed the song again on their official debut stage on Mnet's M Countdown. This was the world's first taste of BTS. Commercially, the album didn't do extraordinarily well. The lead single, No More Dream, peaked at 124 in Korea, and the album sold only 24,000 copies during its first year. Bulletproof Part 2 didn't even chart. The first year wasn't all that great for BTS, but despite everything, people saw them. People saw the sparkle in their eyes and their limitless potential. Yeah. And they were hot, of course. On July 9th, ARMY was established as BTS's official fandom. They made their comeback only 2 months later in September when they released their single, No, along with their EP, part 2 of what would be their school trilogy, Oh, Are You Late 2. In the music video for the single, they made a commentary on the harsh Korean education.
Like, I feel like what they did was correct. See, like, how they made their first album kind of alright, then their second album didn't chart, so they went right back to work. I feel like if you're a small music maker, you just gotta crank out shit. Yeah. Like, crank out song after song after song after song.
That's like with a lot of creators, though.
That's like even with YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You gotta just keep doing it every single day until one time one of them has to catch fire. Yeah. If you have the passion for it, one of them has to catch fire.
That's like the rapper Russ. He used to do stuff independently. Every day he would put something out, or every week, yeah, and eventually he just caught on. One time. If you do it for like 2 years and nothing happens, then honestly just give up. I would keep doing it. Even after 2 years.
Sure, if you like it, if you enjoy it.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And then eventually someone will probably like it.
System, along with their previous themes of hopes and dreams. No peaked at 92 in Korea, but also quickly fell off the charts. The album debuted at number 4 on the Gaon Weekly chart, and it was the 55th best-selling album in South Korea that year. This was enough to secure them the coveted New Artist of the Year award at the Melon Music Awards, the Golden Disc Awards, and the Seoul Music Awards. Part 3 of the school trilogy.
I'm actually kind of confused. How did they win an award if they were 55th?
It just said, it didn't say that. This is from.
Or was that 55th and then they won an award?
This is their new album. This is their new.
Because it sounded like they said they placed 55th, and I'm like, bro, that's
no, here, we'll go back.
It's like low-key not that great.
We'll go back. Oh, that's why. There we go. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. They got the new artist. New artist of the year.
Well, because it's new artists.
Yeah, but 55th.
But they're the only new artists that had ranked that high.
I guess, yeah.
So all the other new artists ranked below them. So that makes sense then if it's
like
new artists.
55th isn't like.
Well, it's.
I guess.
For them only having 2 albums.
I guess.
2 albums and a single. That's pretty good.
I just feel like a lot of the new artists
in South Korea.
I guess, yeah.
But they're the highest. They're the highest out of any new artists. That's what they're trying to say.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I get that,
but like they're the newest one.
I feel like the people here though, don't they make like they'll top charts like top 10, top 15, top 20, and then they'll be like new artists.
Well, yeah,
So
but they don't do it like that over there.
True, yeah.
She was released in February of 2014, the EP School Love Affair. This time, the lead single was Boy in Love. And the other single being Just One Day. The album, as well as both singles, enjoyed moderate success, with the album topping the Gaon album chart, as well as making its first international appearance at number 3 on the Billboard World Albums chart. The album also marked their first distinctive change in theme, focusing more on school life and young love, as evidenced by their Boy in Love music video. They also held their first fan meetings with a crowd of 3,000 in Seoul. BTS was doing well. That is, until July. This is, unfortunately, a dark chapter in the lives of BTS and ARMY. That's right, American Hustle Life. I'm joking, of course, but American Hustle Life was a reality show put together by Mnet that brought BTS to Los Angeles, where they had the unique opportunity to learn the true ways of hip-hop from the masters. And it was a pretty darn cringy opportunity, but an opportunity nonetheless. Whatever you do, just don't watch the Warren G version of Boy in Love. You've been warned. However, cringe and all, the trip proved fruitful for BTS, making connections, performing their first US concert for free in front of 200 fans, as well as their first appearance at KCON. The next month, in August, BTS released their first full-length studio album, Dark and Wild. The album featured 2 singles, Danger and War of Hormones. The album featured a marked shift in sound with a touch of R&B and electronica. It was met with moderate success. It peaked at number 2 in Korea, selling over 200,000 albums. In October and again in May of the following year, BTS went on their first and second concert tours, known as the Red Bullet Tour.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they went from like, in the beginning, they went from like straight like rap to kind of like I'm talking about their style, not their music. Their style to like straight like rap clothing, you know how they wear, to like
grungy almost.
Yeah, to kind of like rap. And they kind of transferred into like, I don't know what you call it.
No, it looks like grungy at this point.
What's
like
grungy?
right here, like grungy, like punky.
Punk.
Kind of, yeah.
So it's kind of like a punk look.
Yeah,
because the last 2 music, maybe because the album was kind of like a punk album.
Probably.
Because they do all the genres. Like seems like they started as a rap genre and then it kind of went to punk. Now it's like pop.
Singing, yeah. It's like
now it's like everything.
Where they visited 13 different countries, including Japan, the Philippines, Australia, the US, Mexico, and many others. They also came out with their first Japanese album in December, Wake Up, featuring many Japanese versions of their songs as well as original tracks Wake Up and The Stars, followed by a Japan tour and a solo concert in Korea. Although Dark and Wild got decent attention, they needed something different. They needed something that would shake things up.
Was he wearing Jordans?
Yeah, those are 6s.
Damn.
They got to work. April 29, 2015 was their comeback. When this album was produced, each member had a hand in writing songs for the album. They again changed their sound from aggressive hip-hop to youthful, colorful styles. And not only their sound, but their image as well. This can be evidenced by their newest EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life. And just by looking at the album cover, they ditched the dark colors and the bulletproof vest symbol that had become so synonymous with BTS, and replaced it with a simple white and pink background overlaid with the title. And then, they dropped the single that would change everything. I Need You. It was sentimental, it was hopeful, it was new. Just by looking at the music video, we can see that BTS has also ditched their punk bad boy image and replaced it with a more real, vulnerable, down-to-earth, and youthful feel. This proved to be the change that BTS needed for mainstream success. Billboard called it one of the greatest K-pop songs of the decade. It charted at number 5 in Korea, and even led them to their first music show win on SBS MTV's The Show. And that wasn't all, they released their second single, on June 24th, which started off with a poignant line from RM.
어서 와. 방탄은 처음이지?
Welcome. Is this your first time with BTS? And you know what? For a lot of people, first studio album and tour can be seen as their stepping stone between old school BTS and new school. In November, they came back with their follow-up EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Part 2, the second EP in what would be dubbed the Youth Trilogy, which featured the single Run. The album focused even more on the frivolity, friendship, and carefree attitude that comes with enjoying one's youth, but just like in I Need You, contrasted that with suffering, depression, loneliness, society, and the stark and sometimes dark reality of life. Compare this with the far cry of the No More Dreams music video. It felt real. It was darker, grittier, more humble, more meaningful, and most importantly, RM lost his mohawk. Run also connected narratively with their previous single, I Need You, and another video released in September titled Onstage Prologue established what would come to be known as the BTS universe, or the BU, which would eventually combine music videos, short films, books, short stories, webtoons, and even a mobile game to create a cohesive story. And I won't go down this rabbit hole because there is a lot to digest, but it's definitely something to look into if you're a hardcore ARMY. The same month, they kicked off their third tour, the Most Beautiful Moment in Life Onstage Tour, where they performed songs from their two recent EPs, Part 1 and Part 2. And Part 2 was a hit, their biggest so far. It topped the weekly Gaon album and Billboard World Albums charts, and on Billboard, it stayed there for multiple weeks, the first K-pop act to do so. It also appeared on the Billboard 200 albums chart, not world albums, which was reserved for foreign non-English songs, but simply the top 200 albums, peaking at 171. Which is kind of amazing considering that this was back in 2015. They also received Best World Performer at the 17th Mnet Asian Music Awards. This brings us to Part 3 of the Youth Trilogy, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever, released on May 2nd, 2016, which featured probably my favorite BTS album cover. Young Forever was actually a compilation album of parts 1 and 2, so it was mostly the same songs, but it was notable that it had some new singles, Epilogue, Young Forever, Fire, and Save Me. The latter two performed exceptionally well, with both songs topping the Billboard World Digital Songs chart. This was also the second BTS album to chart on the Billboard 200 at 107, and it topped both the Gaon Weekly and Monthly chart, which earned BTS their first Daesang.
방탄소년단 축하드립니다.
Album of the Year at the 8th Melon Music Awards. They went on to do the second half of their tour, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life on Stage Epilogue, selling out many of their concerts and even selling out KCON in the US where they headlined the event. In September, they dropped their second Japanese album, Youth, featuring Japanese versions of tracks from their previous 3 EPs, which went gold and peaked at #1 on Japanese charts. And only a month later, in October of 2016, it happened. BTS dropped their second studio album, Wings. It sold over 500,000 copies in its first week. In comparison, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life Part 1, released just the previous year, which topped the Gaon chart, sold about 500,000 in its entire lifetime. Wings was big, but the true showstopper was its lead single, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, which got them their first all-kill, topping 8 music charts in South Korea. Its music video gained 6 million views in the first 24 hours, which broke the YouTube record for the highest number of views of a K-pop group music video within 24 hours. The album hit number 26 on the Billboard 200, the highest ever charting K-pop album on Billboard. They ended up selling 1.5 million copies in South Korea in 2016 alone, and it netted them the Artist of the
Year. Crazy though, that's American Billboards too. So that's like, this is like, I guess it wasn't as big quite yet in America. Like, it's starting to ooze over a little. Yeah. Like, the fact that it's trending that far in Americans' top Billboard is crazy. Like, above insane. Adele and all that. And Adele was huge back then.
No, I think Adele beat him.
Was it?
Yeah, I think Adele was
but still, that's like,
that is crazy. There, yeah. No,
like, I never even heard of them literally until
recently.
Literally the first song we ever did.
Yeah, that's when I learned them.
Same.
So I don't know. That is kind of. It's crazy that they went from 500,000 lifetime to 500,000 in 1 week. That's crazy. That's wild.
Year award at the Mnet Asian Music Awards that same year, the first non-Big 3 artist ever to receive that award.
수상자는 방탄소년단.
After Blood, Sweat, and Tears, they were on a roll. BTS was unstoppable. In February of 2017, they released the instant hit Spring Day, which, quoting a Korean reviewer, embodied nostalgia and sorrow and opened a new chapter in BTS's aesthetics and lyricism and attracted fans across generational boundaries. Which, by the way, is still on Korean charts after nearly 4 years, and the same day I'm writing this, it ranked number 53 on Melon. It won Song of the Year at the 9th Melon Music Awards. After the release of Spring Day, they went on yet another tour, the 2017 BTS Live Trilogy, Episode 3, The Wings Tour. The tickets sold out within minutes, including in the United States, the first K-pop artist to do so, and went on to win Best Social Artist at the Billboard Music Awards. The first for a Korean artist, but they would go on to win this award 4 years in a row. The next year was a period of massive growth for both the group's popularity as well as their style. They released the Love Yourself series, starting with Love Yourself Her in September of 2017, Love Yourself Tear in May of 2018, and Love Yourself Answer in August of 2018. 3 albums that gave us some of the most classic BTS songs that we know and love today, such as Mic Drop, Fake Love, Euphoria, Idol, and of course, all 3 albums were commercial successes, Her being their first album to top 2 million album sales, but Tear and Answer also did equally well. These 3 albums, as well as their Japanese album, Face Yourself, proved that they weren't done yet, not even close. During this time, they shattered countless records. Their singles went platinum, they topped charts, they won awards, and not only did they break YouTube records, but they broke records that they themselves set again and again and again. This is the period where BTS really started enjoying global recognition, working with huge Western artists such as Nicki Minaj, Designer, and Steve Aoki. It wasn't their first time having international features on their songs, but it was definitely the biggest. And even though they were already, without a doubt, the biggest act to ever come out of South Korea, they had their eyes set even higher. They went on tour once again for the Love Yourself World Tour. During this tour, they collaborated with Steve Aoki to make the song Wasted on Me. Wasted on me, wasted on me. Notable for being their first all-English feature, and it also served as a jumping-off point for BTS to gain a following of English speakers. Not that they really needed the help, as they sold out concerts even in the US leg of the tour, including at Citi Field in Queens, New York, where tickets sold out in 20 minutes. And as if that wasn't enough, they dropped the movie in November, Burn the Stage, which in the US alone grossed $3.54 million in the first weekend, breaking the record set by One Direction's movie, This Is Us. In September, RM had the unique opportunity to speak at the United Nations, where he spoke of anti-violence and self-love. 2 years later, he would be offered to speak on a second occasion about persistence and hope in the face of challenges. And to top it all off, in October, the president of South Korea awarded every member of BTS the 5th class Hwangwon Order of Cultural Merit for outstanding meritorious services in the field of culture and art, which is one of the highest South Korean orders of merit one can receive. And that's no exaggeration. 2019 estimates put BTS's contribution to the South Korean economy to the tune of $4.65 billion each year, an equivalent to 0.3% of the country's GDP. They were the youngest to ever receive the honor. 2019, BTS invited to the Grammys, Time Magazine, Billboard. BTS entered a new era. Not an era of simply global recognition, but global dominance. April 12th, 2019, enter Map of the Soul Persona. First things first, you can't mention Map of the Soul Persona without mentioning Boy With Love. It was simple math. What do you get when you cross the singer of one of the best charting songs of all time that went platinum 59 times in 13 different countries with, without a question, the most globally dominant pop group of all time? Well, you get this. Nothing less than an instant hit. Number 8 on Billboard Hot 100, platinum in the US, 21 music show wins, number 1 on iTunes in 67 different countries. The most liked and the most viewed YouTube video in the first 24 hours, the fastest video to reach 100 million views, a current view count of over 1 billion views, 7 boys, 1 girl, and 7 different hair colors. They were the talk of the town, invited to talk show after talk show after talk show. The second single on the album was Make It Right. Oh, I can make it right. Written by Ed Sheeran himself, including a version featuring Loud. The album debuted at number 1 on Gaon and sold 3.2 million copies its first month, and that's only in Korea. It became the best-selling album in South Korea ever. It swept every major Korean music.
That song was written by Ed Sheeran.
That's what I know. That's what they said. Well, I think they did the part. Well, they wrote it. He wrote it, and they did the part.
Yeah.
They wrote. I think they were appearing on it as what do they call that?
A feature.
Yeah, I think they were featuring on it pretty much.
Show, winning Album of the Year in each one of them. They followed up this legendary EP with the Love Yourself, Speak Yourself World Tour, where they sold out both the Rose Bowl and the Wembley Stadium in only an hour, the only non-English speaking act to do so. They even performed as a solo act in Saudi Arabia, the first foreign act to do that. The last stop of their tour was at South Korea's largest venue, the Seoul Olympic Stadium. They ended up grossing $200 million. During this time, they also created a visual novel style game for mobile devices called BTS World, where the player can interact with the members. This also came with an original soundtrack with tracks unique to the game featuring Western artists. Zara Larsson, Charlie XCX, and Juice WRLD for the tracks A Brand New Day, Dream Glow, and All Night respectively. In December of 2019, the group swept the grand prizes for both the Melon and Mnet Music Award shows, the first artist to do that. Map of the Soul persona was legendary, truly a marvel in modern music. So how could BTS follow up the best-selling album in South Korean history, you might ask? Easy. Make an even better-selling album. And that's what they did with Map of the Soul 7. The album was released on February 21st of 2020, featuring the singles Black Swan and On. And sold over 4.1 million albums in just the first week, and the first Korean album to be certified as quadruple million on the Gaon Music Chart. It debuted at #1 on music charts all over the world, including the US, Korea, the UK, Japan, and much of Europe. It's not an exaggeration to say that this album left a permanent mark on the world, launching BTS into legendary status and becoming the best-selling artist in South Korean history. BTS had scheduled a Map of the Soul tour for April of that year, which would have undoubtedly outsold their record-breaking tour only a year prior. But unfortunately, the COVID pandemic caused the entire tour to be postponed, including the show at the Rose Bowl, which I was supposed to attend. But that didn't stop BTS, who performed virtual concerts, spoke at the Dear Class of 2020 graduation event, and released the Japanese version of their recent album with an original Japanese single, Stay Gold. Stay Gold! And to top it all off, this was only June. At this point, it was clear that BTS had already dominated their home turf, and they had topped the music charts all over the world. This time, their sight was set for the very top. Remember that scene in The Social Network where Mark and Sean talk about how they don't want $1 million, they want $1 billion? How they're not interested in catching 14 trout, but they'd rather catch an 800-pound marlin? Well, that's what they set their sights on. The marlin, the biggest music industry in the world, the United States. And at the top of that music industry, #1 on Billboard Hot 100. This small group from a company that virtually no one had heard about 8 years ago planned to take on Goliath himself and dominate the American industry on their home turf. And all they had to do was speak English. August 21st, enter Dynamite.
Wait, they did this song? Dynamite.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You heard it on the radio many of times.
Between what years?
It plays in Target, too.
Really?
2020.
Yeah, I haven't.
Listen. I didn't know that was that.
Their first English single simultaneously performed better than anyone had expected, but at the same time is exactly what we as an audience had come to expect from the legendary boy band themselves. And they did it. They reached #1 on the US Billboard Hot 100, the Global 200, and the Global Excluding US chart. And they made sure that if you hadn't heard of them before, you definitely have now. And if that wasn't already the biggest flex, on October 2nd, they came out with Savage Love BTS Remix with Jason Derulo. Savage Love, somebody break your heart. Getting #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 again, less than 2 months after already getting it #1 with Dynamite. And on the Global 200, where they actually replaced themselves at #1, the first artist to do so ever. And this is where we stopped in the original video, October of 2020. So, what's happened since then? Well, not much.
Huh?
On November 20th, their 5th studio album, B, was released, featuring the hit single Life Goes On.
Dude, I literally hate to be that guy, but I haven't heard of a single one of these songs.
You heard Dynamite.
It didn't.
Guys, I'm gonna play with it. They literally play it in Target right now. You've heard it. I'm gonna play the song for him after this video, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, that song. You've heard it."
I don't know. When they were playing a little bit of it, I don't.
You've heard it. Well, that was only the beginning of the song. You've heard it. Trust me. I guarantee you've heard it. like 100% know you've heard it.
Because they keep saying like, yeah, this is what made it. If you didn't hear of them now, you'll definitely hear them from this song that was below. I'm like, dude, I've never heard of any of these.
You've heard it.
Maybe.
B was met with critical acclaim and hit #1 on Billboard 200 and the World Albums Chart, the 5th BTS album to do so, along with topping worldwide charts in countries like Belgium, Canada, Japan, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, Portugal, and of course, their hometown, South Korea. And in spite of all these accolades, perhaps the biggest winner was Life Goes On. A synth-pop showstopper encouraging its audience to continue living life even in the midst of a global pandemic. The message was clear: don't give up, life goes on. It hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, the 3rd BTS song to do so. BTS gave the fans what they wanted with Life Goes On. Life Goes On joined the exclusive club of only 8 songs to ever top the Billboard Hot 100 that were not in English, a title most recently held by Despacito. But it was the first to do it in BTS's native tongue, Korean.
Lipa, Bad Bunny, and Tiny. Intentions by Justin Bieber and Quavo. Dynamite by BTS. Rain on Me.
The same month, the Academy announced that BTS's Dynamite would be nominated for the Best Pop Duo Group Performance, along with songs by J Balvin, Justin Bieber, Lady Gaga, and Taylor Swift. This marked the first time a Korean pop artist was nominated for a Grammy. In December, BTS was invited to sing for Disney's holiday sing-along. And on New Year's Eve, Big Hit put on a New Year's concert where they performed again. Things looked really good for BTS and their Grammy nomination, especially since on March 4th, 2021, the official news came. The International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, or IFPI, announced BTS as the Global Recording Artist of the Year, an award given to the best-selling artist of 2020, period, beating out 9 other prominent Western artists, making them the first artist from Korea, but perhaps more importantly, the first non-English artist to do so. Later that month, the Grammys. The main event that everyone was waiting for finally arrived. With bated breath, BTS and the world watched. And, well...
And the Grammy goes to Rain on Me, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande.
They didn't win. However, they made history for being the first South Korean artist to perform at the Grammys, after presenting at the Grammys the year prior. March 31st, 2021, Big Hit Entertainment officially revamps their organization. BTS now falls under Big Hit Music, which is now a subsidiary of Hybe Labels, a division of the Hybe Corporation. 2 days later, Hybe acquires Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings. Scooter Braun Projects is a subsidiary of Ithaca Holdings that manages several artists, including Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, J Balvin, Carly Rae Jepsen, Black Eyed Peas, Demi Lovato, and others, which means that those artists are now part of the same family as BTS. Then, at long last, BTS announced their highly anticipated follow-up single to their smash English hit, Dynamite. And that single was Butter, May 21st, 2021.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover.
It didn't disappoint. The retro summer pop hit met immediate success and universal praise. Butter was yet another #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and once again topped the charts around the world. Not only that, but it had 3.9 million viewers at its premiere, which...
You know what's crazy? I low-key thought that song was by Jonas Brothers.
Well, that's what I was saying with Dynamite. I had no clue it was BTS. No clue.
Well, I don't remember Dynamite.
Well, like I said, once I play it for you, you're gonna be like.
I've only listened to that song maybe like a couple times. Or maybe like.
Well, because you don't listen to pop.
Yeah.
You listen to rap.
Yeah.
But still, that's just.
I always thought that was Jonas Brothers.
I never knew. Well,
Which
like we said, we didn't know about BTS literally until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's crazy.
Broke the previous record held by Dynamite. It also broke the record for fastest YouTube video to reach 10 million views and 100 million views, both also previously held by Dynamite. It was the most viewed music video on YouTube in the first 24 hours, with 108.2 million views, once again surpassing the 101.1 million views set by Dynamite. And finally, at 11 million streams on its first day on Spotify, it once again set a new world record. And as an amazing gesture, RM makes a shout out to BTS's fans, ARMY, who helped them get to where they are today. All of this is to say, it was really big.
Their new single broke streaming records on Spotify and YouTube.
Obsessed with this song. Is really, really amazing.
I mean, what is the inspiration behind the new song?
Butter. Butter?
Butter.
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 That's what butter's about.
Butter eventually became Billboard's longest-running #1 song of 2021, spending 10 weeks atop the chart, beating out Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License.
I do remember
Yeah, we're here for the BTS meal.
A drink and fries.
Chicken McNuggets.
And one more thing. Two more things. Sweet chili sauce and cage.
On May
I'm
26th,
actually
the
kinda
BTS
confused right now.
meal.
I don't remember any of this.
You must have lived on a rock. The BTS meal like blew up on
Yeah,
TikTok.
I don't know.
All the
Oh, I don't
TikTokers
have
tried it.
TikTok.
All YouTubers, like food reviewers, tried it. Cause I had 2 different sauces that weren't in America. They were like 2 different flavor sauces that
Weird.
debuted it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't have TikTok.
Well, it was also on
So,
YouTube
I don't
and all
know.
that too, and Twitter.
That's weird. I
Well,
do.
it
I
wasn't
feel
really on
like
Twitter. It wasn't
I
on
feel
Twitter.
so left out right now. I literally can honestly say I only
don't
remember the
know.
one song.
Dynamite literally plays at her work.
Well, yeah, but I don't even listen to it. But like that's crazy though. I don't remember like any of this.
Like I said, once I play the song,
I feel like I have been missing out.
he lives on a rock, dude.
Dude, I don't understand.
Look at how he's sitting right now. This is not appropriate for this. Those
Launched.
feet
Yeah, the
go
BTS
under.
meal at McDonald's.
Yeah, that happened. June 16th, BTS releases their 3rd Japanese compilation album known as BTS The Best. It instantly hit #1 on Japan's Oricon chart and sold over 1 million albums, the first and only Korean boy group so far to accomplish this feat. The new Japanese single, Film Out, was released 2 months earlier and debuted at #1 on the Oricon chart. And as an interesting fact, charted at 185 on the Billboard 200 excluding US chart, joining Dynamite and Life Goes On, making BTS the only artist to ever have 3 songs in 3 different languages on the Billboard 200. On July 1st, following an organizational restructuring, the Hype Corporation announced that Hitman Bang, our same Hitman Bang who got the boys together, resigned as CEO of the company in order to focus on his passion for music production. And while he is still the chairman of the board of directors, he was replaced as CEO by Park Ji-won. On July 7th, BTS became official models for Louis Vuitton as they walked the runway for part of their men's fall-winter 2021 collection. They were named as ambassadors only 2 months prior, and then for their teaser trailer, they forgot to put V in the video. And finally, that brings us to July 9th, Permission to Dance. The hit song, which was written by Ed Sheeran, spreads positive vibes as the world starts to recover from the global pandemic. Its YouTube debut saw 72.3 million views in the first 24 hours, placing itself at number 6 of the top 10 most viewed music videos in the first 24 hours. Out of BTS's past 5 singles, 3 of them have been fully in English. And while this trend has been concerning for some fans who have been wanting more traditional Korean pop songs, there's no denying that BTS has enjoyed global recognition like no other international and particularly non-English group before them, and that itself is a sign of success that can't be ignored. And as a fun fact, there's a line in the song referencing legendary singer-songwriter Elton John.
When it all seems like it's wrong, sing along to Elton John and to that feeling.
He gave the song his personal approval. That same month, BTS once again tops the Billboard Hot 100 with Permission to Dance, marking number 5 of BTS singles that have topped the Billboard Hot 100. In August, Big Hit officially cancels the Map of the Soul tour due to the pandemic. But to everyone's surprise, only a month later they announced Permission to Dance on-stage tour, being their first live concert since 2019. The tour kicked off with a concert in Seoul in October, but later announced dates for Los Angeles in November and December. Barely 2 months after their previous #1 hit, BTS collaborates with legendary British rock band Coldplay to drop yet another #1 hit on Billboard's Hot 100 with My Universe.
Forever, baby.
In November, BTS wins Artist of the Year at the American Music Awards.
The American Music Award goes to
BTS!
Not only were they the first K-pop group to ever win the award, but they were the first Asian act ever to win that award.
Next, we have Best Pop Duo or Group Performances. The nominees are Butter by BTS.
Coldplay. Sorry, Chris.
The same week, they were nominated for a Grammy for Best Pop Group Performance. From November 27th to December 2nd, BTS held its first international concert since 2019 in Los Angeles, California, the Permission to Dance onstage tour. And, well, it was insane. They were to perform at the SoFi Stadium, one of the largest stadiums in the United States, and coincidentally, it would be the same stadium that held the Super Bowl. Pre-sales started October 5th for those who bought VIP soundcheck tickets. And though ticket sales for the general public were supposed to start on October 9th, they ended up selling out before it even started. Demand for the tickets were so high that scalpers were reselling tickets for up to $40,000. Thankfully, we were one of the lucky ones, and we were able to snag a few tickets and finally see them in person.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
It felt like a farewell concert, and it really was supposed to be, with the uncertainty about the future of the world, as well as Jin's enlistment looming over the group's head. But thanks to recently passed South Korean legislation known colloquially as the BTS law, the group had been granted a postponement on their mandatory military service until further notice. And just to show that they weren't done yet, only 2 months later, tour dates were added for April 8th, 9th, 15th, and 16th in Las Vegas, Nevada. On December 6, 2021, BTS surprised their fans as they launched individual Instagram accounts for the first time ever. In doing so, V broke the record for the fastest time to reach 1 million followers on Instagram in just 43 minutes. And then he also achieved the fastest time to reach 10 million followers after only 4 hours and 52 minutes. The same day, the group announced that they were suspending activities in order to take an extended period of rest so that they could spend more time with their family. And this is crazy. This is only their second break that they've ever taken since their debut in 2013, which is just such a testament of how hard they actually work. The break was definitely well-deserved.
상자는 우리의 멋진 방탄소년단.
축하합니다. 방탄소년단 버터.
방탄소년단.
방탄소년단.
On December 11th, BTS swept the Mnet Asian Music Awards, winning all 4 daesangs. This marks the 3rd consecutive year that BTS has swept the awards, showing no signs of slowing down in their home country. In February, BTS won IFPI's Best Selling Artist of the Year award for the 2nd time in a row, the only artist ever to do so, and only the 3rd artist to win more than once, along with Taylor Swift and Drake. Impressive considering how new BTS is on the international stage compared to the others. On March 25th, Snoop Dogg officially confirms an upcoming collaboration with BTS that he had been hinting at since January of the same year. Funny enough, he admits that he didn't know at the time exactly how big they were.
We getting calls from the biggest artists in the world. I got a group named BTS that's waiting on me to do a song with them right now, and I'm trying to figure out if I got time to do this.
Regardless, it's nice to see BTS revisit their hip-hop roots every now and then. And that brings us to today, Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. BTS had been previously nominated for the Grammys once before, and even then, they were by far the most accomplished and critically acclaimed artists in their category, and they didn't win. Unfortunately, history repeated itself. They once again were snubbed of the trophy. Some might regard this as a huge loss, a huge blow to BTS and their fans. Sure, some might say that they missed out on the most prestigious music award the world can give. Right? I'd argue, no, not really. I'm sure if they had one, ARMY around the world would celebrate, as BTS wins against all odds in a rigged award show skewed towards American English-speaking songs. But the truth is, they never needed to win an award to garner any sort of praise. They don't need a trophy to be validated. They were able to do that all on their own. Boy bands come and go, but BTS continues to prove themselves by pushing the envelope, pushing themselves to the limit. BTS sets new records, they smash decade-long records, and then they replace themselves by breaking their own records by the very next thing they do. That's just what BTS does. From humble beginnings in their old studio dance practice beauty. And even in uncertain times like ours, we can find that beauty. And with all their talent, the members of BTS really could have chosen to do so many other things, but they chose to share some of that beauty with us. And I'm grateful for that. And I can't wait to see what the future holds. And that's our April 2022 update. There's been lots of crazy things happening recently.
I do like how he said, or maybe you think they're hot. And that's okay too.
Yeah, that was funny. Off the bat, I hope there's another documentary out there, because I wish they would have went into more depth on like the hard times they had.
True.
Other than focus on all the all the good stuff that happened to them, because I feel like we didn't learn much about like their past. Like we didn't learn what they had to go through. Like we learned the free concert and all that.
Well, I do like seeing the accomplishments though, because there was some stuff that I was like, even some of the songs. Oh wow, we
I wish there was more in depth to each person.
Yeah.
And how they got. Well, they did say that how they got
did
there.
They did that in the other one, didn't they?
I feel like they went a little more in depth on how like the problems they had to get to there, to this and that.
Yeah. Where
this one was kind of already up here and showing that.
Well, I will say that I do like how the last one kind of went in depth with them.
Yeah.
This one kind of went in depth with their achievements.
True.
There might be another video out there. Comment down below if there's one on their challenges.
Because we did learn that like in the last one, like they were giving out free tickets for a concert that we didn't learn about in this one.
That's what I'm saying.
So I guess that kind of adds up. But we know you guys are going to comment down below, obviously. We do thank you guys so much. We appreciate all the love. 880 subscribers strong right now. And yeah,
that's actually kind of wild.
We might to celebrate 1,000. Like
we might be like BTS soon.
No. We thank you guys again so much for all the support you guys have been giving us these videos.
Heck yeah.
Check out the other videos down below and let us comment. Please comment down below what other topics you like us. Not like bands, topics. So other topics in the world, like for example, wrestling, animals, movies, food. What else do you want us to?
Because we do like interacting with you guys as well and trying to just like learn more about things that you guys like as a whole.
So, yeah. So what else do you guys want us to react to? Let us know down in the comments below. And guess what we'll do?
And what is your favorite single from BTS?
Oh, well, we never asked that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Since there was a couple singles over there, what is your favorite one? Yeah. I know Butter. So.
Let us know. So you just Butter?
I guess. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like. That's like the only one I really know.
Bandwagonish?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, maybe if you're...
It might change. It might change. For right now,
it's Butter.
As of the 9th, it's Butter.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next reaction.
Peace.